Welcome to Chat of Athletes. This is an ACG production original. Please do like, subscribe, and comment. I'm back, motherfuckers. I'm back. Yes, I am him. No, I'm not him, actually. I'm back, motherfuckers. It's me, Huncho, head Huncho. Huncho God Huncho, whichever you want to say it, whichever you want to see it. I'm fucking back. I've been gone for a little while, but now I'm back. The Big Daddy's back. The black man with the black thing is back. And I'm back here. I'm back for the rumble. I'm back for the sizzle. I'm back for the energy. I'm back for the intensity. I'm back with a little bit of an adjustment. Like any basketball game, I was getting my ass whooped, and then I made the necessary adjustments in the second quarter, in the second half, so that I can finish the game stronger. Like even in the bedroom, if I'm doing bad, I might ask for some tips so I can come back strong in the second half, because that's what I do. That is who I am. That is what I do. Head Huncho's in the building. Huncho God Huncho. I'm coming with a different energy. I'm coming with a different intensity. I'm coming overall with a different approach, because we ain't kidding around no more. It's do or die, and I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to die. There's many things I strive for in life, but this excellence is one of which I aim to constantly and consistently attain in anything I touch. And this is one of those things. I'm not going to tell this monologue. This ain't nothing about that. So Chat of Athletes has had a bit of an adjustment. Same personality, but with a different approach. So we're not covering broad sports anymore. I'm not doing basketball anymore. I'm not doing the English Premier League anymore. Based off of two things. There's too many people covering it, so I feel as though it's pointless. My voice on it is basically verbatim, which is unnecessary if we're being honest. There's so many other podcasts of which have past ex-players, and they have the necessary following. And I realize that I don't have much, dog. And I'm not putting my energy where it actually needs to be put, which is identifying the gap in the South African market. Sure, there are a couple of shows which have ex-players on them, but the necessary approach to the sports isn't good enough. Because one, the league isn't entertaining enough. Two, the league isn't competitive enough. Three, the commentary on it isn't done justice, right? There's no current players consistently speaking, That's one side of it, which I think if marketed well enough could, go far. And two, the coverage isn't entertaining enough. Imagine if Lemmy Loco spoke about the PSL. Imagine how much content, material he'd be able to write. I'm not sure if he's an actual comedian. I think he's a DJ, last time I checked. But imagine how much material he could actually write. A lot, And I think that's where I wish to position myself. Entertainment for South African football. Commentary that is shot in a bedroom, inside of a house. It's a big house, by the way. I don't live in a shack, niggas. Don't ever think of me like that. I'm a big boy. I'm a big boy with big money, with big families. Pause. That sounds hella wrong. But yeah. And I think despite just bringing knowledge, of which is everyone knows. If you watch football, you know football, basically. I'm just here to entertain you. I'm just here to talk smack about your teams. I am just here to showcase my linguistic capabilities and my diction capabilities as well. And my articulation, because I'm also trying to change how I speak. Like I'm trying to enunciate every single word in a sentence. So I'm also I'm benefiting in some shape, way or form from all of this. So don't get it twisted. But okay, the adjustment and the change is that we're only covering the PSL and South African football. And see that AFCON is soon coming. We need more coverage on AFCON, and I want to be the people that gets clicks when the AFCON hits, right? It's an opportunity to gain following, and I'm going to immerse myself within South African football for the first time in a very long time. So I'm back into it, like footy. Like I watched all the midweek. Okay, I think I missed one because it coincided. Okay, first let me rant about this, actually. South African broadcasters are doing a very bad job in marketing and in publicizing the game. How do you put two games at the same time, right? I don't get what's the reason for that. Is it because of load shedding? Why would you put two games at 7:30? Like, that doesn't make any sense. The Sundowns and the Amazulu game played at 7:30, and then you also played the Chippa game around the same time. And then it's like, dog, what the flip are we doing here? Like, what are we doing? Are we joking? Like, come on, could we be serious? Like, that really frustrated me because I couldn't watch both of them at the same time. I chose the Sundowns game, obviously, and served up. But I also wanted to watch this Sekhukhune game. So it's like, please, next time, do us justice. Show a little bit more initiative to structure the games in a way of which we are able to view every game. It's only 2 games. It's not that big of a deal. Not that much of a problem. Right? 1. Now, could we get into the games, right? Since we're doing PSL, we're doing it good. We're doing it justice. We're going to start off with the game, which for me was the highlight game of the week. No, we're going to start off with the weekend games, actually. The Carling Black Label Cup games. I was watching the Richards Bay and Steady's game, and then load shedding hit me. So I didn't really see much after that. And so by the time of which load shedding hit, the game was 0-0 at halftime. It looked very even. Richards Bay played really good football. They were very much threatening, but couldn't really create that end ball or that end product to really be potent enough against, Steadies. And in the second, Steadies, you could see glimpses in the first half of which they intended to use the counter-attack as more of a threat. And there's the short nigga, big-ass head. I think he's colored. I'm not sure. I think he has a Zulu man's body, but a colored man's face. A colored man's face. This is very weird, right? He ended up taking man of the match. And it's Titus. I think it's Titus. I hope it's Titus. I think it is Titus, though. Then they scored 3 goals, right? And when I was looking at the stats, I was just like, okay, 56 ball possession overall the whole game. Going to halftime, Richards Bay had the more dominant. I think Steadies used the first half to sort of feel out the game and see how they handle it going forward. They did pretty well. They scored goals. They found themselves in good positions. They won the game. Hooray! Congrats to them. But it was a very weird game. I think I did the irritating part of that. I didn't get to see the second half, so that's fucking frustrating. But it's also a thing of Steady's a really good team. I really didn't rate them that much. I think coming into this season, when they were doing the MTN8 press conference before the MTN8 Cup started, like they were talking and the coach was like, we really hope to find ourselves in a better positions in terms of knockout competitions and really try and go all the way this time around. Unfortunately, they couldn't do that in the MTN8. But they seem to be really coming on pretty well in the Carling Black Label Cup, The first time finals, they were playing another team, TS Galaxy, of which, hey, that game was entertaining, I'm not going to lie. And it's like, okay, this is very interesting. Can they win it? Will they win it? I back Steadies to win it. I think they have the better team, to be honest, in comparison to TS. TS Galaxy does have cup final experience. I think they beat Kaizer Chiefs in the Nedbank Cup 2 seasons back, which is a major upset while they were still in the NFD. So I like what I see from Steadies, man. I really do think that they are a really good team. And they are 4th in the log, doing pretty well. Can't complain much about them, but they could do better. Any team can do better, but you look at the competition they're going up against, and you look at the type of games that they've won. You really see them as a team that could potentially finish in 3rd, 4th. They could make to continental competitions. They can make into the CAF confederations. I think that's what they're aiming for. To be honest, this season. Because with Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates slacking a little bit, there's room. There's a spot that can be taken by another team, right? And you see, at some point, Golden Arrows was amongst the top 4 teams, the top 3 teams in the league, and they're playing really well. So we really wouldn't know how the top 3 is going to finish off until like the last 5 games of the season. I think that'll tell us a lot. But they have the capabilities to finish in the top 5 for sure, without a shadow of a doubt. Right. So they into the final. They beat a Richards Bay team, of which I didn't expect them to win that game. Richards Bay, to me, they should have not have even made it to the semis, but they We're resilient against Pirates, won on penalties, 5-4, and away from home, which is very big and just very cool, yada, yada, yada. But I don't think they're a good enough team. Their prior coach got sacked. They have a new man in the helm. Who's that guy who got sacked? It's not Barker, man. I forgot his name. The coach that got sacked. But yeah, that nigga. Right. And they hey, I don't even see them surviving this season. Maybe playoffs, but I don't see them surviving. I see them going back down, unfortunately. But so team Etegwini, halala. No, there's a lot of teams from the KZN this season, which is very impressive and very cool. But yeah, now they out, and I don't have much else to say about it. They had a good run, I guess. But I'd like to go into the next game, the Amazulu TS Galaxy game, which is very entertaining, right? TS are in a very comfortable position going to the second half. 2 quick goals, and then they find themselves in a 2-2 position, and then all of a sudden, last minute winner by TS Galaxy, and they steal the game, and Amazulu don't have a chance to get back into it. I think besides the 3-0 win they had against Golden Arrows, of which some 2 or 3 of the goals you say of which were very fortuitous and the gods of football granted for Quem to score the hat-trick. 2 of the goals had to be very generous, right? Besides that game, every other game they played, they've seemed to have just bad luck, man. Just tough. Just either decision not going their way, or just an unfortunate circumstances falling against them, right? Because I'll speak onto the other one in the next game that they played in midweek against Sundowns. But yeah, Amazulu seemed to have had a good run of form. Now they just lost them. I think Amazulu and Golden Arrows are in a very tricky position. And I think both are 2 very similar teams. 2 are both mid-table teams. And they're just trying to break into that next jump. But they're struggling. Whether it be decision-making, player injury, player availability. It's just different things not going their way, unfortunately. But I think they're a very interesting team. If someone asked me which team would I suggest to watch in the PSL besides the conventional top 3, top 4 teams, I'd say Amazulu. Between Amazulu, Golden Arrows, and Stellenbosch, their games are entertaining, bro. Defensively, they're not that good. Offensively, they're very good. So you get goals at the end of it all. So it's like, why not, right? And yeah, good game, good teams, interesting enough. Yeah, I want to get to this game quick because I want to get through this one. Chippa and Sekhukhune, I couldn't see the game because of how they scheduled them, so I saw the highlights. I mean, I don't know what's going on with Chippa, bro. When I used to watch the PSL regularly, Chippa was a good team, right? And that's like 2016, 2017. That's a while back, right? Back in the days when Shifta Masugo was still at Pirates, and now he's at Royal AM and is balling, right? So that's how far back I haven't watched PSL football consistently on a regular basis. And Chippa just seemed to, Sekhukhune was just all over them. From the highlights, Chippa only had 1 chance which made it onto the highlight tape. The rest of the 4 minutes 59 seconds was just Sekhukhune squandered opportunities. I think, to be honest, Sekhukhune should have won that game by 4. Game should have ended 4-0. The keeper kept them in the game, but I think I don't want to say the keeper kept them in the game. I want to say more of this, that it was more of the players' failures to convert chances rather than the goalkeeper's brilliance, right? Because if you look at some of the opportunities, a player has a chance to shoot, you better straight to go goalkeeper. Joe, why I'm gonna get into this rant with another player, but a lot of the chances they'd shoot straight to goalkeeper. Wow. 1-2, build up play, cross, nice one, header, straight to goalkeeper. Try and put it in a different other spot, because the 2 goals that they scored didn't go down the net. It was the sides. They put it my side thing, far, good one. And now it's like, what are we, But you know what? Sekhukhune got the win because they're also struggling this season. Chippa's also struggling. It was a 6-point game. They got the win they didn't need to get. It was at home. They did what they needed to do. On to the next, right? And yeah, I don't think Sekhukhune are going to kick on from this. And I don't expect Chippa to do anything amazing anytime soon either. It's like, as the game's gone. Because I don't really expect much from both the teams, to be honest. For them, I think finishing in between 12 and 10 is like, perfect season, bro. We've survived the league. You know, next season we'll try and get a few decent enough players from other teams and, kick on. And man, that's it, to be honest. I'd say probably the most interesting game of the weekend was the Pirates versus Swallows game. I just remembered something. For two reasons. I think I saw on Twitter, it was circulating. One of the Pirates, I don't know, someone on the Pirates team staff just tell them more tip by the thingies. And I'm like, they still do that till this day. South African football. It's like, dog. I'm not saying it's primitive methods, but it's just like the means that guys will go to just to get a win in football. It's sometimes it's scary in someone a funny, but it's also a concerning way. Like, if you're willing to do that, where do you draw the line? What's the line for you? Would you go to a Sangoma and say, yo, could this person not score against us on a certain day, right? Or like, what? Hey. But that's besides the point. That was a very good game, I'm not going to lie. I think Pirates had probably their best game this season. Obviously, they dominated on every stat line, right? Besides shots, but shots on target, they had more. They only had 2, of which both of them I think one wasn't. Yeah, Saleng's one wasn't a shot because it was a cut. It was a cut back into the box from the line, and then the Swallows deflected it in. It was via own goal, exactly. So only 2 shots on target, but a lot of the action happened in midfield. There was a lot of times of which it was a game of doom doom, bam 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 bam. Once you put the ball down, the team lost a lot of position. Like there was at no point at which I could say there was genuine control over the game by a particular player. I think Tim was the closest thing to the controlling man, but also he couldn't get control of the game. I think no one could, right? It was a very chaotic game based on a lot of counter-attacking rather than a genuine build-up play, right? A lot of the chances that Pirates created, it was long balls over the top into the final third. Then you find a man running, it would be Pule. If it's not Pule, it's Mahopa. If it's not Mahopa, it's Mafokeng. So it's a lot of play the ball long, put the man, let him run, right? I think the left-hand side, Hoto did a really good job. I think it was probably one of his better performances this season. So you do find yourself in a position of which you do have to admit that Pirates played probably their best game this season, to me personally. It may have not been a complete performance, but it was one of which there was relative control in how the game played itself out. Even 1-0 down, you wouldn't say that they looked threatened. They looked as though they couldn't get, even if Swallows equalized, they couldn't get back in front. It wasn't one of those. It was one of those of which, when you watch it, you'll say, yeah, I rate the shot. I expected them to win. It looked pretty comfortable for them from minute 1 to minute 90, to be honest. But I think one point of which I wanted to mention, I think I said on my Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at @Gogetso_Huncho. I think that's my handle. I'm not sure, but there's Huncho and Gogetso together. Gogetso_HunchoJack. Yeah, that's Twitter. Instagram, Gogetso_HunchoJack. Again, yeah. Yeah, that's my social media. Follow me, and follow Athlete Group Central on Instagram. It's Athlete Group Central, like no spaces, no nothing, just Athlete Group Central. And on Twitter, it's ACG__SA. ACG__SA. I gotta plug myself. I forgot about that. If I end up getting like 3 followers from that, that'd be very appreciated. On our way to 100 subscribers on the YouTube channel. We're on 44 last time I checked, so that's good, right? Because last time it was on 37, now it's 44. It's like we're getting numbers, bro. We're really getting numbers. And there's people that don't know. That's the dope part of it all. And yeah, that's the interesting part. Back to the conversation. What I liked about Pirates was Saleng coming off the bench for Bule. If you ask me, I think that's the best solution out of it. Because Saleng, to me, he's a spark player, right? He's an energy bunny. He's not a tactically savvy player. Like, Saleng is a 25-minute player, right? I don't think he's the type of player which you can't play him 8 straight games in the first 11. I don't think he'll be effective enough in 8 straight games. He's the type of player which you want to find a way to score a goal in a game. You give him 25 minutes to do his magic. You want him when the defense is tired so that they can't keep up with it. Because he's one of the fastest players I've seen in the PSL in a long time. And he's tricky and he's left-footed. And he has close touch control. He has all the necessary skills to be a killer player. And he does... I think he just does enough to get a team over the line. Just not from the starting 11 position. Because even the goal he scored, he had 5 other chances, fast break counters, long balls over the top, of which Paddocks played for him, and he only capitalized 1. So he realized that he doesn't need too many chances, 1, and he's very much more effective when the defense is tired. Because the thing is with Saleng, you don't want to put him in the first 11 when the whole team has energy. It makes it very difficult for him to play his game. I think the MTN Cup final against Sundowns showed that sure, he'll be a threat, but he can be nullified over a space of 90 minutes. Because at the rate he runs like everyone else, and he gets tired as well, along with the other players, right? So by the time he's at the 70th minute, he's no longer as effective as he was when the game started. Because just as he's tired, other players are tired. Just as other players are tired, he's tired as well, right? But then if you put him in 60th minute, you have 30 minutes for him. Shita, twerker, that defense will be spinning all day long. And that's what I like about him, right? He's electrifying. He is entertaining football, but only in spurts, not in lengthy periods. I think if Pule gets injured, sure, I understand. But the thing is, Saleng is super talented. I think he's just not at that level of which he can sustain his threat. I don't think he can sustain his ability to be offensively threatening over a span of 85 minutes. I don't think he's there yet. Is he on the cusp of it? As he's closer to doing it for 50 minutes than he is doing it for 90. I'll say that. And I think the striker situation, I don't really have too many problems. Kayona, I hope or change out they score, right? They all have I think in total they both have like 5 goals. So it's like 6 goals in total, both of them. So it's like I'll go cooking in young ton. In Tonga, they look pretty good. I think they might have a decent run of form, and I expect them to win again this weekend. But we'll see what they have in store. I have to go to another team. The last game. Yay. This one was a Royal Rumble match. This one I'm not gonna lie. Amazulu versus Sundowns. That was a war. And the funny part, the game only ended 1-0, and it ended 1-0 down to a penalty. First of all, round of applause for Sundowns. I think it's a new league record, best of the best start ever to a PSL season, and it's 10 games, 10 consecutive wins from the start of the season, 30 points, 10 of 10. The perfect form. They've played the least games in the league, but they're still top of the league, and they haven't lost even a single game, which is very impressive. Somewhat expected, but very impressive in terms of some of how they won some of those games. I think against Supersport, Mamelodi Supersport 2-0. They come back, have an away game against Amazulu, they win. They just know how to get the job done. I think it's all down to experience with Sundowns at this point. Is a season of invincibles on the cusp? Potentially. And I say potentially dependent on squad availability and Shalulile's potency. Right? And by squad availability, I mean player health and rotation. And player health and rotation in terms of the amount of competitions and games that they play. And how well the front three actually works and how clinical is Shalulile. Because I think he's very key to that. I think there'll be games, unlike this one. My irritation was, I think I posted on my Twitter the Spider-Man meme, and I said Darwin Núñez and Shalulile. And by that, someone was like, oh, don't disrespect Darwin Núñez like that. And my reason for saying, someone said, don't disrespect Shalulile like that. And my reason for having said that was, it's not that Shalulile isn't a good player, but I just think he's very wasteful in front of goal, right? He can have 3 clear-cut opportunities and score 1 or miss all of them. And he just like, it's all, like, he loses his head. Like, he seems as though, I've played football, right? I'm going to get back into football, to be honest. I think I need to, because the gods of football, I've had dreams about football for the past 3 days, and it's very weird, you know? So, Shalulile has this weird tendency of, lapsing in concentration in the game, right? So there's this as a football player and as a sports, anyone who does sports, a lot of the times that we execute or we play, it's all based off muscle memory. Sometimes you don't even think of what we're doing. We just use what we've done in trade. If you've applied yourself for a lengthy period of time at a particular thing, sometimes it's not even about technique or like being away in that moment. It's just about applying past experience. Like, if I've taken the same shot with the outside of my foot 15 times or 200 times, if you're a high-level player, taking it the 201st time in a game isn't difficult. It isn't tricky, right? And that's how I think he plays a lot of the time. He's like, oh, I've done this in training, so I'm going to shoot it like that. And it's like, sometimes you actually have to be present in that moment and be very aware in how you execute a certain move. There was a chance he got in the game of which a ball was played in from the left, and he snapped at it. When he snapped at it, he hit it hard. It went directly to the goalkeeper. And the commentator said, I don't think he realized how much time he had. If he put that ball down with his right, he could have even pushed it with his left outwards and then hit it in. It would have probably been a goal, right? But he was so rash in that moment that he just shot it. And I've seen him do that so many times. And it's so one thing about me that's very frustrating that I really don't like with him. Same thing I don't like with Eddie Nketiah, to be honest. But we don't do Prem talks anymore. But it's like the rashness in your approach and your tendency not to be methodical in your execution, which very much gets to me, of which can genuinely be avoided by just trying to be present as often as possible when you're on that football pitch. Attempting to execute the right way as frequently as you possibly can. Not every time, but as frequently as you possibly can. One thing of which is known through study and through also personal experience is that when you actually play and you remain present in a particular moment, your ability to execute is further heightened. And often or not, the greatest players are players of which who play in the present moment, right? Who remain present, of which are able to hold the ball and actually see what they're doing and not act off of muscle memory. Those are the best players. I've had that before, and I've had crazy experiences doing that, right? I'm not gonna get into it. I'm probably in the next couple of months, I'm gonna start doing a documentary series. Maybe you might hear a little something about that, right? But it's all just about executing. And I think with him, I'm tired of complaining about Shalulile. I'm tired of just watching him and tearing up my head in the game, when I'm watching him. But they did what they needed to do. I think that's a mentality of champions. That's a mentality of winners. That is a mentality and approach of highly experienced and successful players, of which, regardless of the circumstances, we force out a win. Whether we have to play dirty, whether we have to play scrappy, whether we have to be resilient, we find a way to win. And they did that. It wasn't the prettiest performance from Sundowns. More chaotic, if anything. It was the least cohesive game I've seen them play of late. But they still won, so there isn't really much to be like, Could it have been a fair enough result if it ended as a draw? Yes. But sometimes, and a lot of the time, similar to life, football is not fair. Football is based off of effort and luck. sports is a game of broken plays. Nothing you plan will ever go as intended. It really ever does. If it does, then you're lucky. And Sundowns got a penalty. They scored. Was it a soft penalty? Yes, but the player cut him off from behind. So it's like you were stupid to pulled him down. They held him down for too long. And it was stupid. Like you don't do that. Don't. Zwane just got in front of you. You don't try. The defender tried to be smart. It didn't work out for him, and they find themselves in the boat. They find themselves taking an L. Coach Rulani was ready to fight. There was a point at which the Amazulu player, the entire squad surrounded the rev, and it was like, hey, that's a coming I think it served up an entertaining game. If it had a few more goals, it would have been the perfect game. But it was a very good one, regardless, nonetheless. And it's definitely one of the best games I've seen Amazulu play. I think regardless of the result, I think they go into the next game on high on confidence in terms of what they can do, right? And I really hope Sundowns go invincible. I really want them to. I think if they do that, and then I can start having a conversation with people about, is Rulani the greatest Sundowns coach ever? Because he hasn't necessarily equaled what Pitso has done, but Pitso himself has said that, oh no, I think he's better, right? So I'd really like to see what it looked like. Then I'd really like to see what the end of the season looks like for Sundowns, right? They already have one trophy in the bag. They have lost one final. So what is possible for them? I don't know. Anything, to be honest. I think they're still the Nedbank Cup. I think they're going to win the Nedbank Cup. I think they're also going to win the league. So, yeah. I think the league is already gone, to be honest. I think they gained 20 more points and they're done. 50 points. Only need to win the PSL is actually around about 52 points. 55, actually. Statistically, I don't think another team, the second team won't get to 55 points until probably the last game of the season. So if Sundowns can just get quickly to 55 points, the league's gone. I think they can win the league probably by early April. Probably even late March, if they actually don't lose a game and just wait. But yeah, that's my analysis for this week. Still, you're doing it different. Huncho is back. Huncho, God, Huncho, hit Huncho, black man with the black thing. Yeah. So there's games this weekend. So this is being recorded on Friday. There's games this weekend. I'll try and guess a couple of fixtures, right? And then we'll see how we do with that. Stellies versus Cape Town Spurs. No, Cape Town City. I'm saying 2-2. I think Stellies are favourites 2-1, obviously, to win. But I'm saying 2-2. And this segment is sponsored by Bet. I'm joking. You thought I was going to say Betway. Nah, I don't have a sponsor. I don't have viewership like that yet. So I ain't going to get no Betway sponsorship. But I think the games to look out for, obviously, is the Stellies Cape Town Spurs, Cape Town City game. It's going to be a very good game. It's playing today. I'm going to watch that game. And I think it's going to end 2-2. I hope it does. I hope it ends with the Stellies win. But I don't think it's going to end 2-2. Why do I hope it ends at the Stellies win? Because I've been to Stellies for a rugby game, though. And it's a great, great place to be. Bit weird being used to Cape Town CBD. When you see the southern suburbs of Cape Town, then you move yourself to Stellies. Different place. Different environment. But it is what it is. Let's look at the other games, man. Okay. What are the other games? Chiefs versus Polokwane City. I'm saying Chiefs 1-0 win. I think Polokwane City are struggling. I don't see them beating Chiefs, even though they are at home. I don't see them doing much. Chippa Golden Arrows, obviously Golden Arrows. 3-1 Golden Arrows. Pirates TS Galaxy. Oh, actually, I have to think about that one. Pirates at home, they're favourites. TS Galaxy just beat Amazulu on the road, but Amazulu had a bit on a bad run of form in the league. So I have to say 2-1 Pirates. Actually, Royal AM versus Richards Bay. Royal AM 3-1. Easiest game to call. Richards Bay is getting relegated. Royal AM been a good run of form. Shifter Masugu is playing one of the best football of his season. The whole Royal AM team is playing really well. They look very encouraged. They look very good. They beat Golden Arrows in the last league game. So why not go with them, right? Amazulu's Sekhukhune, 1-1, that one. Sundowns, Mamelodi Spurs, 5-1, Sundowns. That's it. I appreciate you for those who will be watching and those who made it this far. I appreciate you. I respect you. The fact that you're the only one person who's going to do this, because no, only one. I look at the numbers. Only one person watches it till the end. So for that one person, I respect you. I got love for you, even though nobody else loves you. I do. And that's it, man. Kugito, and I'm out tonight. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you for giving me your time and attention, and I hope that you return again. Chat of Athletes is coming out again next week, Friday or Saturday. But then on the Tuesday, the Dante Basketball episode 11. I promise it's going to be very interesting. Obviously, because my face will be there, as always. I love you all. I appreciate you for watching, and take care.